comes alive in the quiet hours of the night. I'm your guide through tonight's extraordinary journey in our Learn Art in Your Sleep series. Tonight, we're unlocking ancient art mysteries that have puzzled historians for centuries, secrets hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. What you're about to discover will change how you see the ancient world forever. But first, let me ask you something that might surprise you. Did you know that a simple cave painting in Spain contains mathematical principles that weren't supposed to be discovered for another 20,000 years? Or that Egyptian tomb paintings reveal a lost civilization that mainstream archaeology refuses to acknowledge? Tonight, as you drift into peaceful sleep, your mind will absorb these incredible mysteries. Ancient artists weren't just creating beautiful images. They were encoding messages, hiding treasures, and preserving secrets that would blow the minds of modern scientists. So get comfortable, close your eyes, and let's step through the corridors of time to uncover what our ancestors desperately wanted us to remember. Picture yourself walking through an ancient gallery where every brushstroke holds a secret. Every carved line contains wisdom that has waited millennia to be understood. The air is thick with mystery, and tonight you'll become part of these incredible discoveries. These aren't just stories about old paintings and sculptures. These are revelations about human potential, about knowledge that challenges everything we think we know about our past. Some of these discoveries are so profound that they've been hidden from the public for decades. Imagine ancient artists who could see into the future, who understood the structure of DNA before we had microscopes, who mapped the cosmos with impossible precision. Tonight, you'll learn about civilizations that possessed technology we're only beginning to understand. As we begin this journey, remember that your sleeping mind is incredibly receptive to learning. While your body rests, your consciousness will absorb these ancient mysteries, integrating this profound knowledge into your understanding of human history and potential. Let's begin our journey 40,000 years ago, in a cave hidden deep in the mountains of northern Spain. The year is 1879, and an amateur archaeologist named Marcelino Sanz de Sautuola is excavating what he believes is a simple prehistoric site. His 8-year-old daughter, Maria, is playing nearby while her father works in the dim light. "Papa, look. Bulls, bulls," she calls out, pointing up at the ceiling. What she discovered that day would shake the foundation of everything we thought we knew about ancient intelligence and artistic capability. The Altamira cave paintings initially appeared to be simple drawings of bison and other animals, but hidden within these ancient masterpieces lies a secret that took modern researchers over a century to decode. The ancient artists weren't just painting animals. They were creating the world's first astronomical calendar, a sophisticated system for tracking celestial movements. Each bison represents a specific constellation. Each line corresponds to celestial movements that our ancestors tracked with impossible precision. The positioning of these animals across the cave ceiling mirrors the exact arrangement of stars as they would have appeared 40,000 years ago, taking into account the precession of equinoxes. But here's what will truly amaze you. Buried within the paint itself Scientists have found microscopic particles that shouldn't exist in that region. Particles that suggest these ancient artists had access to materials from lands thousands of miles away, or perhaps from somewhere else entirely. Dr. Jean Klotz, one of the world's leading cave art experts, discovered that these prehistoric artists were using a painting technique called spray painting by blowing pigment through hollow bones. This technique created gradations and shading that wouldn't be seen again in art for over 30,000 years. The pigments themselves tell an incredible story. Analysis reveals the use of manganese, dioxide and iron oxide, mixed with organic binders that have preserved the artwork for millennia. But more mysteriously, some of the pigments contain trace elements that don't occur naturally in the cave environment. Recent acoustic studies of Altamira and other decorated caves have revealed another stunning discovery. The areas with the most elaborate paintings have exceptional acoustic properties. Sound resonates in these painted chambers in ways that create altered states of consciousness. Our ancestors weren't just creating art. They were engineering sacred spaces that affected human perception. The paintings at Altamira show animals in motion, captured with an understanding of anatomy and movement that rivals modern biological illustration. These weren't primitive scratches on stone walls. They were sophisticated, artistic expressions created by minds that understood proportion, perspective, and the interplay of light and shadow. Carbon dating has revealed that these masterpieces were created over a period of thousands of years, with each generation of artists adding to and refining the work. This suggests a continuous tradition of knowledge passing that maintained incredible consistency and precision across millennia. But perhaps most mysterious of all is the discovery of handprints in the caves, created by placing hands against the wall and blowing pigment around them. These handprints appeared to be missing fingers, not from injury, but from a deliberate bending of fingers in patterns that researchers now believe represent a sophisticated sign language. This sign language has been found in caves across Europe, suggesting a continent-wide communication system that predates written language by tens of thousands of years. The patterns match mathematical sequences that wouldn't be formally discovered until the Renaissance. Now, let your mind travel to the golden sands of Egypt, where an ancient riddle has been waiting 400 or 500 years for someone to solve it. The great Sphinx of Giza sits silently, guarding secrets that would revolutionize our understanding of human history. Recent discoveries have revealed something extraordinary hidden beneath its weathered surface. Using ground-penetrating radar and seismic imaging, archaeologists have discovered a network of chambers beneath the Sphinx that don't appear on any ancient map or blueprint. But that's not the most mysterious part. The erosion patterns on the Sphinx suggest it's far older than conventional archaeology claims. The water damage visible on its limestone body could only have been caused by substantial rainfall over extended periods. The problem is, the Sahara Desert hasn't seen that kind of consistent precipitation for over 7,000 years. This means the Sphinx witnessed the end of the last ice age. It watched as green valleys became endless desert. It holds memories of a world we've forgotten, a time when the Sahara was a lush, fertile landscape crossed by rivers and dotted with lakes. Geological evidence supports this radical timeline. The vertical erosion patterns on the Sphinx's body are consistent with thousands of years of rainfall, not the wind erosion you'd expect from 4,500 years in a desert climate. Independent geologists have confirmed that these erosion patterns could only have been created by precipitation, hidden in the precise angles and proportions of the Sphinx's construction is a mathematical code that appears throughout ancient architecture. This code, known as the golden ratio, or phi, creates proportions that the human eye finds naturally pleasing, but it goes deeper than aesthetics. The same mathematical relationships found in the Sphinx appear in the spiral of nautilus shells, the arrangement of sunflower seeds, the proportions of the human body, and the structure of galaxies. It's as if ancient architects understood a fundamental principle of universal design. Recent thermal imaging has revealed that the Sphinx contains internal structures that maintain consistent temperatures regardless of external conditions. These natural air conditioning systems suggest a level of engineering sophistication that we're only beginning to understand. The paws of the Sphinx contain hieroglyphic inscriptions that tell a different story than official history. These inscriptions speak of a time before the pharaohs, when the Sphinx served as a marker for a civilization that possessed advanced knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering. Between the paws, the dream stele of Thutmose IV tells the story of how the future pharaoh fell asleep in the Sphinx's shadow and received a prophetic dream. The inscription suggests that the Sphinx was already ancient and mysterious in Thutmose's time, around 1400 BCE. Underground chambers connected to the Sphinx have been mapped using sophisticated scanning technology. These chambers contain what appears to be a library of stone tablets, artifacts that could rewrite our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. The Sphinx's gaze is precisely aligned with the rising sun on the spring equinox, but calculations show that this alignment was perfect approximately 12,000 years ago. This suggests that the Sphinx was built not just to mark an astronomical event, but to serve as a permanent calendar and observatory. Water damage analysis has revealed that the Sphinx was partially submerged for extended periods, confirming that it experienced a climate dramatically different from today's desert environment. This submersion would have required the Nile to flow at a much higher level, or the presence of a large lake that no longer exists. The limestone blocks used to construct the Sphinx show signs of advanced cutting techniques. The precision of these cuts suggests the use of tools and methods that mainstream archaeology hasn't yet explained. Some researchers propose that these cuts were made using sound, vibration techniques that could slice through stone like a laser cuts through paper. Recent discoveries have shown that the Sphinx is connected to the nearby pyramids through an underground tunnel system. These tunnels are precisely engineered with mathematical proportions that create acoustic effects and air circulation systems that defy conventional explanation. Your journey through time continues as we move to the misty hills of ancient Britain, where massive stones, arranged in perfect circles, hold a secret that connects our ancestors to the cosmos. represents just one node in a vast network of ancient observatories that span the globe. Everyone knows the name Stonehenge, but few understand its true purpose. Recent discoveries have revealed that this wasn't just a calendar or temple. It was something far more extraordinary. It was a sophisticated computer designed to calculate and predict celestial events with stunning accuracy. Each stone was positioned with mathematical precision that rivals modern engineering. The monument's builders understood concepts of geometry, astronomy, and acoustics that wouldn't be formally rediscovered for thousands of years. But here's what will amaze you. The acoustic properties of the circle create sound frequencies that match the resonance of human brain waves during deep meditation and altered states of consciousness. Our ancestors built a machine for consciousness itself, a stone structure that could induce specific mental states in those who gathered within its embrace. Recent experiments have shown that sounds generated within the circle create standing wave patterns that affect human brainwave activity. When researchers played reconstructed ancient music within Stonehenge, they discovered that the stone arrangement amplifies certain frequencies while filtering out others. This creates an auditory environment that naturally induces the theta brainwave state associated with deep meditation and spiritual experiences. The blue stones that form Stonehenge's inner circle were transported from Wales over 150 miles away. These specific stones were chosen not just for their durability, but for their acoustic properties. When struck, they ring like bells, each with its own distinct tone. The ancient builders created a massive stone orchestra, but Stonehenge isn't alone in its sophisticated design. Across the British Isles, hundreds of stone circles demonstrate the same advanced understanding of astronomy and acoustics. Avebury, the largest stone circle in the world, covers an area so vast that the entire village sits within its boundaries. Archaeological evidence shows that these stone circles were built over many centuries, with each generation adding refinements and improvements. This suggests a continuous tradition of astronomical knowledge that was passed down through countless generations. The positioning of these circles across the landscape reveals another level of sophistication. When connected on a map, they form geometric patterns that mirror constellation arrangements and follow the Earth's magnetic field lines. The ancient builders understood the planet's energy grid and positioned their monuments to harness natural forces. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed that many stone circles sit atop underground water systems. These aquifers create electromagnetic fields that interact with the stone structures above. The combination of running water, magnetic stones, and precise geometric arrangement creates what some researchers describe as ancient energy generators. The Karnak stones in France represent the largest collection of megalithic monuments in the world. Over 3,000 standing stones arranged in precise rows stretch across the countryside. Recent analysis has shown that these rows align with lunar cycles and create a massive astronomical computer that can predict eclipses centuries in advance. In the Orkney Islands of Scotland, the Ring of Brodgar demonstrates engineering capabilities that challenge our assumptions about Neolithic technology. The circle is perfectly round, with stones positioned at exact intervals. The precision of construction exceeds that of many modern buildings. The stone circles of the British Isles are connected to similar monuments across Europe and beyond. The megalithic culture that created these structures had contact and communication across vast distances, sharing sophisticated knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering. Recent discoveries in Turkey at Göbekli Tepe have pushed back the timeline of megalithic construction by thousands of years. This site, older than Stonehenge by over 6,000 years, shows the same sophisticated understanding of astronomy and sacred geometry. The implications are staggering. Our ancestors possessed advanced knowledge far earlier than previously believed. The builders of these stone circles understood precession, the 26,000-year wobble of Earth's axis that causes the positions of stars to shift slowly over time. Many circles contain alignments that account for this precession, suggesting their builders were thinking in terms of thousands of years, planning monuments that would remain accurate across dozens of generations. Modern attempts to recreate the construction techniques used at these sites have largely failed. The precision of stone cutting, the methods used to transport massive blocks across difficult terrain, and the mathematical accuracy of positioning remain mysteries that challenge our understanding of ancient capabilities. Deep in the jungles of Central America, the Maya created artwork that defies explanation. Not just beautiful, but impossibly accurate. They painted the movements of planets they shouldn't have been able to see with the naked eye, calculated the length of the solar year to within minutes of modern measurements, and created calendars more precise than our current system. Their astronomical observations were recorded in codices, stone carvings, and elaborate murals that demonstrate a level of mathematical sophistication that rivals modern computer calculations. The Maya could predict eclipses centuries in advance, track the movements of Venus with stunning accuracy, and calculate the synodic periods of planets to decimal precision. But hidden in their temple murals is something even more extraordinary. The Maya painted scenes that appeared to depict events that hadn't happened yet, technologies that wouldn't be invented for centuries, and visitors from distant places that don't correspond to any known Earth civilization. In the Temple of Inscriptions at Palang, researchers have found mathematical equations carved into stone that describe the expansion of the universe itself. These calculations, verified by modern cosmologists, accurately predict the rate at which galaxies are moving away from each other, knowledge that modern science only confirmed in the last century. The Maya long count calendar, famous for its supposed prediction of the world's end in 2012, actually represents something far more sophisticated. It's a mathematical model of cyclical time that accounts for astronomical cycles spanning millions of years. The calendar accurately predicts the precession of equinoxes, the Earth's orbital variations, and even the movement of our solar system through the galaxy. Recent decipherment of Maya glyphs has revealed that their calendar system includes cycles that span billions of years, incorporating deep time concepts that modern physics uses to describe the age of the universe. How could ancient astronomers without telescopes possess such profound knowledge of cosmic timescales? The Maya created detailed maps of the Milky Way galaxy, which they called the World Tree or show the structure of our galaxy with an accuracy that wouldn't be matched until the development of radio astronomy in the 20th century. At Chichen Itza, the famous pyramid, known as El Castillo, demonstrates the Mayas' mastery of both astronomy and acoustics. During equinoxes, the play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent descending the pyramid steps. But the pyramid also has acoustic properties that transform hand claps into the sound of the Quetzal bird, sacred to Maya culture. The acoustic effects at Maya sites go far beyond simple echoes. At many locations, specific sounds create resonance patterns that induce altered states of consciousness. Researchers have found that the frequency patterns generated by Maya architecture match those used in modern sound therapy and meditation practices. Maya codices contain star maps that show constellations and planetary positions with photographic accuracy. But some of these maps depict stars and celestial objects that aren't visible from Earth with the naked eye. Recent analysis suggests that some Maya astronomical observations may have been made from perspectives outside our planet's atmosphere. The Dresden Codex, one of the few surviving Maya books, contains eclipse tables that remained accurate for thousands of years. The mathematical calculations required to create these tables involve complex orbital mechanics that weren't formally understood by European astronomy until the work of Kepler and Newton. Maya artwork frequently depicts figures wearing what appear to be technological devices, helmets with complex apparatus, and vehicles that don't correspond to any known pre-Columbian technology. These images have sparked debates about whether the Maya had contact with advanced civilizations or possessed technologies that have been lost to history. The Maya understanding of mathematics included the concept of zero, which they developed independently and centuries before it appeared in Old World mathematics. Their numerical system was more sophisticated than Roman numerals and allowed for calculations involving extremely large numbers and complex astronomical cycles. Recent excavations have uncovered Maya sites with underground chambers that contain what appear to be sophisticated water management systems, including pressurized pipes and filtration systems that demonstrate advanced hydraulic engineering. These systems supplied fresh water to cities of hundreds of thousands of people in regions where surface water was scarce. The sudden collapse of Maya civilization around 900 CE remains one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. Advanced cities were abandoned seemingly overnight, leaving behind evidence of a sophisticated culture that possessed knowledge and capabilities that challenge our understanding of pre-Columbian America. DNA analysis of Maya populations has revealed genetic markers that suggest contact with populations from across the Pacific Ocean, supporting theories that ancient Maya had transoceanic connections that mainstream archaeology has yet to fully acknowledge. On the most remote inhabited island in the world, nearly 1,000 giant stone heads stand watch over the vast Pacific Ocean. But recent discoveries have revealed that these mysterious monuments, known as moai, are far more complex and mysterious than anyone imagined. They're not just heads. They have massive bodies buried deep underground, and carved into these hidden bodies are symbols that appear nowhere else on Earth. The Moai statues were created by the Rapa Nui people, but the logistics of their construction presents a puzzle that challenges our understanding of ancient capabilities. The island's population at its peak was only a few thousand people, yet they managed to carve, transport, and erect nearly 1,000 statues, some weighing up to 80 tons. Recent archaeological excavations have revealed that many of the moai have bodies extending up to 40 feet underground. These buried bodies are covered with petroglyphs and symbols that don't match any known writing system. The symbols appear to be mathematical in nature, possibly representing astronomical calculations or engineering specifications. The mystery deepens when we consider how these massive statues were moved from the quarry at Rano Raraku to locations across the island. Local legends insist that the statues walked to their destinations, a claim that modern archaeologists dismissed as mythology until recent experiments proved it might be literally true. Teams of researchers have successfully demonstrated that the moai can indeed be walked upright using a coordinated rocking motion. This technique allows a relatively small team to move a multi-ton statue across difficult terrain without rollers, sleds, or other traditional transport methods. The statues are perfectly balanced for this walking motion, suggesting their creators designed them specifically to be moved in this way. But the engineering sophistication goes even deeper. The moai are positioned with mathematical precision across the island, creating sight lines and geometric relationships that serve multiple purposes. Some alignments track astronomical events. Others appear to be part of a complex surveying system that maps the island's geography and resources. The red stone topknots, called pukao, that ground many of the moai were quarried from a different location than the statues themselves. These multi-ton hat-like structures were somehow lifted and precisely positioned atop statues that stand over 30 feet tall. The engineering required for this feat rivals the construction challenges faced by modern skyscraper builders. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed that Easter Island contains extensive underground tunnel systems and chambers. These subterranean structures appear to be connected to the moai sites and may have served as workshops, storage areas, or ceremonial spaces. The construction of these underground facilities would have required sophisticated knowledge of geology and engineering. The Rongorongo script found on Easter Island represents one of the world's few independently developed writing systems. The script consists of glyphs that combine pictographic and logographic elements, but despite decades of study, it remains largely undeciphered. Some researchers believe Rongorongo may be more than writing. It might be a mnemonic system for preserving complex oral traditions. Recent analysis of Rongorongo tablets has revealed mathematical patterns and astronomical references that suggest the script was used to record sophisticated calculations. Some glyphs appear to represent celestial bodies and their movements, while others may describe engineering techniques or resource management systems. The collapse of Rapa Nui civilization, like that of the Maya, remains mysterious. European contact in the 18th century found the island largely depopulated, with many moai toppled and abandoned. Local oral traditions speak of a great catastrophe that forced the survivors believers to abandon their sophisticated culture and revert to subsistence living. Environmental analysis has shown that Easter Island was once covered with a dense forest of palm trees, but this forest disappeared around the time of the Moai construction. Some theories suggest that the demands of statue building led to deforestation and ecological collapse, but others propose that the forest loss was due to climate change or natural disasters. The positioning of the Moai creates astronomical alignments that track the movements of celestial bodies, significant to Polynesian navigation. The statues may have served as a massive stone computer for calculating ocean voyages and maintaining contact with other Pacific islands across thousands of miles of open ocean. Recent DNA studies of the Rapa Nui people have revealed genetic markers that suggest contact with South American populations, confirming that Easter Island was part of a vast network of Pacific navigation and trade that connected distant civilizations long before European exploration. The quarry at Rano Raraku, where most of the Moai were carved, contains evidence of sophisticated stoneworking techniques that go beyond simple chiseling. Analysis of tool marks suggests the use of precision instruments and possibly techniques involving thermal expansion or chemical softening of the volcanic stone. In the heart of West Africa, the Dogon people of Mali have preserved astronomical knowledge that should be impossible for a pre-technological culture to possess. For over 700 years, they've passed down detailed information about Sirius B, a white dwarf star that's completely invisible to the naked eye and wasn't discovered by Western astronomy until 1862. The Dogon don't just know about Sirius B, they understand its orbital characteristics, its 50-year cycle around Sirius A, and its incredible density. They describe it as being made of matter heavier than anything on Earth, a description that perfectly matches the properties of a white dwarf star. How could they have known this centuries before the invention of the telescope? Their sacred artwork depicts this cosmic knowledge with stunning accuracy. Rock paintings and wooden sculptures show the orbital patterns of the Sirius system, the elliptical path of Sirius B, and even what appears to be the gravitational effects that the dense companion star has on its bright partner. But the Dogon knowledge extends far beyond Sirius. They possess accurate information about Saturn's rings, which they describe as consisting of multiple bands. They knew about Jupiter's 4 largest moons, which they call the children of Jupiter. They understood that the Milky Way is a spiral galaxy containing billions of stars, and they had detailed knowledge of the planets in our solar system. The Dogon creation mythology describes the formation of the universe in terms that mirror modern cosmological theories. They speak of a primordial seed that expanded to create all matter and energy, a concept that closely parallels the Big Bang theory. Their oral traditions include descriptions of atomic structure, DNA-like spirals, and the fundamental forces that govern the universe. These astronomical insights are preserved in their art, particularly in their intricate wood carvings and textile patterns. The Dogon create sculptures that represent astronomical concepts, with figures and symbols that encode complex mathematical relationships and celestial mechanics. The Dogon say this knowledge came from visitors they call the Nomo, beings from the Sirius system. who taught them about the cosmos when humanity was young. Whether interpreted literally or symbolically, these traditions preserve scientific information that wasn't formally discovered until the modern era. Similar preservation of advanced astronomical knowledge can be found throughout Africa. The Bambara people, neighbors of the Dogon, possess complementary star knowledge that confirms and extends Dogon observations. Together, these cultures maintained an astronomical tradition that spans centuries. In southern Africa, the San people created rock art that encodes sophisticated astronomical observations. Their paintings track the movements of celestial bodies with mathematical precision, creating a record of sky events that spans thousands of years. Recent computer modeling has confirmed the accuracy of their astronomical records. The sandrock art includes depictions of supernovas, meteor showers, and other rare celestial events. Some paintings appear to show the southern sky as it would have appeared during Ice Age conditions, when climate change affected the visibility of certain constellations. African astronomical traditions also include advanced understanding of calendar systems. The Yoruba people of West Africa developed a calendar that accounts for both solar and lunar cycles, incorporating leap days and corrections that maintain accuracy over centuries. Their calendar calculations rival those of any ancient civilization. Rock art sites across Africa reveal a continent-wide tradition of astronomical observation and record-keeping. These sites often feature sophisticated alignments with cardinal directions, solstices, and significant star rises. The precision of these alignments suggests the use of advanced surveying techniques. The preservation of this knowledge through oral tradition demonstrates the remarkable capacity of human memory and cultural transmission. African griots and storytellers maintained scientific information across generations with an accuracy that exceeds many written records. Recent archaeological discoveries in Africa have revealed ancient astronomical instruments and observatories that confirm the sophistication of indigenous scientific traditions. Stone circles, aligned megalithic structures, and carved observation platforms demonstrate that African cultures possessed advanced knowledge of celestial mechanics. The connection between African astronomical knowledge and similar traditions in other parts of the world suggests a global network of ancient scientific exchange. Mathematical concepts, star names, and observational techniques show remarkable similarities across cultures that had no apparent contact. Modern verification of African astronomical traditions has confirmed their accuracy in predicting eclipses, planetary positions, and stellar events. This validation highlights the sophisticated observational skills and mathematical capabilities of ancient African astronomers. In the red heart of Australia, Aboriginal peoples have been creating artwork for over 60,000 years, making their artistic tradition the oldest continuous culture on Earth. But recent scientific analysis has revealed that these dreamtime paintings aren't just spiritual art. They're sophisticated information systems that encode everything from navigation routes to astronomical knowledge to what appears to be maps of the human genome itself. The dot paintings, spiral designs, and interconnected lines that characterize Aboriginal Art aren't random decorative elements. They represent a complex visual language that describes the fundamental patterns of existence. Each dot, each line, each color carries meaning that has been preserved and transmitted across thousands of generations. Recent research has discovered that traditional Aboriginal patterns match the neural pathways of the human brain with stunning accuracy. The interconnected circles, radiating lines, and branching structures found in their artwork mirror the way neurons connect and communicate in human consciousness. It's as if ancient artists understood the physical structure of thought itself. Aboriginal navigation skills are legendary, allowing people to traverse thousands of miles of seemingly featureless terrain using only traditional knowledge. But the secret lies in their artwork, which encodes this navigational information in visual form. Paintings serve as maps that describe not just physical geography, but seasonal changes, water sources, animal movements, and weather patterns. The song lines or dreaming tracks that crisscross Australia represent one of the world's most sophisticated navigation systems. These invisible pathways connect sacred sites across the continent, and the songs that describe them contain precise geographical information encoded in rhythm, melody, and verse. Aboriginal rock art includes astronomical observations that span tens of thousands of years. Cave paintings accurately depict the Southern Cross, the Magellanic Clouds, and other celestial features. Some sites contain what appear to be star maps that show the southern sky as it would have appeared during different historical periods. The emu in the sky, a dark cloud formation in the Milky Way that's central to Aboriginal astronomy, is depicted in rock art sites across Australia. These paintings track the seasonal appearance and disappearance of this celestial emu, creating a calendar system that predicts weather patterns, animal behavior, and the availability of food resources. Aboriginal creation stories encode practical knowledge about geology, climate, and natural history. The rainbow serpent tradition, found across many Aboriginal cultures, describes geological processes like erosion, sedimentation, and the formation of river systems with scientific accuracy. Traditional Aboriginal burning practices, guided by knowledge preserved in their artwork and oral traditions, create fire patterns that prevent catastrophic wildfires and maintain ecosystem health. This sophisticated environmental management system is now being adopted by modern land management agencies. The boomerang, one of Australia's most famous Aboriginal innovations, demonstrates advanced understanding of aerodynamics and physics. Different boomerang designs serve different purposes, from hunting tools that don't return to ceremonial instruments that create complex flight patterns. The mathematics of boomerang design rival modern engineering principles. Aboriginal stone arrangements found across Australia demonstrate sophisticated astronomical knowledge. These stone circles, lines, and complex patterns align with celestial events and serve as both calendars and teaching tools. The precision of these alignments shows that Aboriginal astronomers understood the movement of celestial bodies with remarkable accuracy. Traditional Aboriginal artwork includes depictions of extinct megafauna, giant animals that disappeared from Australia over 40,000 years ago. These accurate representations of long-extinct species suggest that Aboriginal oral traditions spans have preserved information across unprecedented time spans, maintaining scientific accuracy across more than 500 generations. The Aboriginal understanding of time differs fundamentally from Western linear concepts. Dreamtime represents a cyclical view of existence where past, present, and future coexist. This temporal concept aligns with modern physics theories about the nature of time and space, suggesting that Aboriginal philosophy may contain profound insights about the universe's fundamental structure. Aboriginal tool-making traditions demonstrate sophisticated understanding of materials science, the selection of specific stone types, heat treatment techniques, and precision flaking methods show that traditional craftspeople understood the molecular properties of their materials and could manipulate them with incredible skill. The preservation of Aboriginal culture despite 60,000 years of environmental change, including ice ages, sea level fluctuations, and climate shifts, demonstrates a remarkable adaptability and knowledge transmission systems. Their survival strategies, encoded in art and oral tradition, represent one of humanity's greatest achievements in sustainable living. Modern genetic research has confirmed many aspects of Aboriginal oral history, including migration patterns, tribal relationships, and historical events. This validation shows that Aboriginal traditions accurately preserve factual information across time spans that dwarf written historical records. As your mind processes all these ancient mysteries during your peaceful rest, a remarkable pattern emerges that connects all these diverse civilizations across time and space. Despite being separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, they all discovered and preserved remarkably similar knowledge about the cosmos, consciousness, and the fundamental nature of reality. They all created art that encodes mathematical principles that weren't formally rediscovered until the modern era. The golden ratio appears in Egyptian pyramids, Greek temples, Renaissance paintings, and Aboriginal dot paintings. The Fibonacci sequence shows up in Maya calendars, Celtic spirals, and African textile patterns. They all possessed astronomical knowledge that seems impossible for their technological level. The Dogon knew about white dwarf stars. The Maya calculated planetary orbits with computer-like precision. Aboriginal Australians tracked stellar positions across millennia, and European megalith builders created stone computers that predicted eclipses. They all understood acoustics and used sound as a tool for consciousness. Paleolithic caves amplify specific frequencies that induce altered states. Egyptian pyramids contain resonance chambers. Maya temples transform claps into bird calls. And Aboriginal ceremonies use rhythm and sound to access spiritual dimensions. They all created navigation systems that allowed for incredible journeys across vast distances. Polynesian wayfinders crossed thousands of miles of open ocean using star knowledge. Aboriginal songlines traverse an entire continent, and ancient trade routes connected civilizations across multiple continents. They all demonstrated the engineering capabilities that challenge our assumptions about ancient technology. The precision of stone cutting at Bumabungu, the massive stones at Baalbek, the perfect circles of British stone circles, and the walking statues of Easter Island all require techniques that we struggle to replicate today. They They all preserved their knowledge through sophisticated information systems that could survive for millennia. Oral traditions maintained scientific accuracy across hundreds of generations. Cave paintings preserved star maps for 40,000 years, and stone monuments encoded astronomical data that remains accurate today. They all seem to understand that consciousness itself was a fundamental force in the universe, not just a byproduct of brain activity. Their art, architecture, and spiritual practices were designed to affect human awareness, to induce specific states of consciousness, and to connect individual minds with cosmic principles. Perhaps most remarkably, they all seem to be working toward the same goal: the preservation of crucial knowledge for future generations. Whether they anticipated some great catastrophe or simply understood the fragility of civilization, these ancient cultures went to extraordinary lengths to encode their most important discoveries in forms that could survive the rise and fall of empires. The thread that connects all these ancient mysteries might be humanity's greatest secret, that our ancestors possessed a unified understanding of reality that encompassed science, spirituality, art, and consciousness. This knowledge wasn't primitive superstition. It was a sophisticated worldview that saw the universe as an interconnected whole. As you rest in peaceful sleep, this ancient wisdom integrates into your consciousness, connecting you to a tradition of knowledge that spans the entire history of human civilization. You become part of this great chain of understanding that links the cave painters of 40,000 years ago to the possibilities of tomorrow. The mysteries we've explored tonight aren't just historical curiosities. They're invitations to remember what humanity once knew and perhaps still knows at some deep level. In your dreams, these ancient insights merge with modern understanding, creating new possibilities for human knowledge and achievement. Sleep peacefully, knowing that you carry within you the accumulated wisdom of all these ancient cultures. Their knowledge lives on in the art they created, the monuments they built, and the traditions they preserved. Through learning about their achievements, you become a guardian of humanity's greatest treasures. Rest now in the quiet certainty that the universe is far more mysterious and wonderful than we typically imagine. The ancient artists who created these masterpieces knew this truth and encoded it in their work, waiting for future generations to rediscover the profound connections between art, consciousness, and the cosmos. Let these ancient mysteries comfort your sleep, knowing that human potential is far greater than we usually believe, and that the wisdom of our ancestors continues to guide us toward ever greater understanding of our place in the infinite tapestry of existence.